So I was thinking about what are the values and the attitudes we have to have as journalists to make sure that we're not corrupted. And it's the same kind of values you'd have to have anywhere to not be corrupted. If you're scared of losing your life, you're going to be able to be corrupted. You're going to be a coward. If you're scared of telling the truth, because, I was just listening to something on one of the popular trials, murder trials, that was very politically charged. And the jury had to, the jury and the judge have to think, well, is there going to be social unrest if I do the right thing, right? And they shouldn't really be thinking about that, should they? They should be thinking about um, the truth. They should be thinking about their role, their small role, right? But the truth is that if they vote the wrong way, or if um, they have the wrong take on things, that they're gonna their family afterward, there's going to be repercussions, and their family is going to suffer. And um, that's the truth. That's the reality. If you think about if you think about old movies about the old west, a lot of times there's a sheriff, and he's trying to uphold the law. And then you have a powerful rancher who's trying to take over all the other ranches. And he's trying to subvert the law by bribery and by hiring hired guns and everything. And then oftentimes you have a newspaper man out there, who um, shows up shows up at his shop, and his press is all like busted up. And so and so you know you have you just have a lot of forces that are at work that make it hard to live with character and with integrity, and hard to see things. There's another kind of integrity too, where um, oh, I'm worried about uh, no, I'm not worried. I just don't want to face the fact that I might be wrong. And so I'm going to report in a way that makes me look like I'm right. And that's that's another form of cowardice, right? Unable to face the truth, unable to tackle um, reality, unable to live in the real world. And so what I like about the character of the Happy Warrior is William Wordsworth puts everything into perspective. And so he says basically his whole point is, what happens to me is not the most important thing, but how I live is the most important thing. The results are not the most important thing. How I live is the most important thing. And in the end, we see that the love of God is actually the most important thing. Heaven's applause, he calls it. The applause of heaven is what he calls it at the end. And I haven't read this in a while, but it just occurred to me it's probably something we should talk about, because every time we speak words, are we elevating the conversation for people around us as journalists potentially? Are we, or as people who just want to tell the truth? Are we really examining topics on their own merit, or are we trying to defend our lifestyle, or are we trying to, um, oh, I'm scared that they're going to come after my home and my family will be at risk? If you're scared of that, you shouldn't be in a place where it depends on you. That's a bummer about the jury system that, you know, you might be called to be on a jury on a trial, and you might be forced, right? And basically be forced to make a decision where my family might be at risk if I vote a certain way, because people might come after me, or my career, my ability to provide for my family. It is very hard to act courageously when you need things, and when you don't have you know, there, there, there's nothing to take care of you. And I think that's where courage, historical courage, has come from people who believe that this world is not the most important thing. You have to believe that. And I have this saying, it's kind of a weird saying, believe what makes you brave, right? But that almost sounds like we're believing things so that we can be brave, whether they're true or not. And that would be delusional. But I don't think it has to be that way. It is not, you don't have to be delusional to believe that the most important thing is beyond what we have right here. But that's for everybody to decide. You have to decide that. You have to decide, how am I going to act courageously? How am I going to think about life in a way that causes me to do the right thing rather than the thing that's expedient for me, or the thing that I want to do, or the thing that will, help my family the most. Um, adjust my camera here. All right. Let's read. This is Poetry Foundation. This is just where I found it. Stand by for screen share. Okay, there we go. All right. The Character of the Happy Warrior by William Wordsworth. Who is the happy warrior? Who is he that every man in arms should wish to be? It is the generous spirit who, when brought among the tasks of life, of real life, hath wrought upon the plan that pleased his boyish thought, whose high endeavors are an inward light that makes the path before him always bright, who, with a natural instinct to discern what knowledge can perform, is diligent to learn, abides by this resolve and stops not there, but makes his moral being his prime care, who, doomed to go in company with pain, and fear and bloodshed miserable train, turns his necessity to glorious gain. In face of these doth exercise a power which is our human nature's highest dower, controls them and subdues, transmutes, bereaves of their bad influence, and their good receives. By objects which might force the soul to abate, his feeling, rendered more compassionate, is placable, because occasions rise so often that demand such sacrifice. More skillful in self-knowledge, even more pure, as tempted more able to endure. As more exposed to suffering and distress, thence also more alive to tenderness. 'Tis he whose law is reason, who depends upon the law as on the best of friends. Whence in a state where men are tempted still to evil for a guard against worse ill, and what in quality or act is best doth seldom on a right foundation rest, he labors good on good to fix, and owes to virtue every triumph that he knows. Who, if he rise to station of command, rises by open means, and there will stand on honorable terms, or else retire, and in himself possess his own desire. Who comprehends his trust, and to the same keeps faithful with the singleness of aim, and therefore does not stoop nor lie in wait for wealth or honors or for worldly estate, whom they must follow, on whose head must fall like showers of manna if they come at all, whose power shed round him in the common strife or mild concerns of ordinary life a constant influence, a peculiar grace, but who, if he be called upon to face some awful moment to which heaven has joined great issues, good or bad, for humankind, is happy as a lover, and attired with sudden brightness like a man inspired, and through the heat of conflict keeps the law in calmness made, and sees what he foresaw, or if an unexpected call succeed, come when it will, is equal to the need. He who, though thus endued as with a sense and faculty for storm and turbulence, is yet a soul whose master bias leans to home-felt pleasures and to gentle scenes. Sweet images, which whosoe'er he be, are at his heart, and such fidelity. It is his darling passion to approve, more brave for this, and he hath much to love. 'Tis finally the man who lifted high, conspicuous object in a nation's eye, or left unthought of in obscurity, who with a toward or untoward lot, prosperous or adverse to his wish or not, plays in the many games of life that one, where what he most doth value must be won, whom neither shape or danger can dismay, nor thought of tender happiness betray, who, not content that former worth stand fast, looks forward, preserving to the last, from well to better, daily self surpassed, who whether praise of him must walk the earth forever and to noble deeds give birth, or he must fall to sleep without his fame and leave a dead, unprofitable name, finds comfort in himself and in his cause. And while the mortal mist is gathering draws his breath in confidence of heaven's applause. This is the happy warrior. This is he that every man in arms should wish to be. So you can see why this is a little inspiring, because this is a poem about a man who has decided that instead of taking his confidence in things of this world, oh, if I, what my government promises me for being brave in battle, that's my reward, or what people around me think when I come back from battle, um, what so let's say you win some political thing, and now you're feeling really good, and now everyone's on your side because you won, right? Because if you don't win, not a lot of people are going to be on your side. um that you don't care because you know those people are finicky. You know that compared to heaven's applause, the applause that you get from that thing that is beyond who you are, the thing that is beyond today, and and who you are, that you're doing the right thing, whether anybody likes it or not, whether anybody knows it or not, because you know that you're looking for God's approval. Where does bravery come from? I think the Buddhists would say that, I've heard this, that bravery comes from, or, doing the right thing comes from being detached, right? You don't own anything. You're completely detached. Um, you don't you don't care about anything on this earth. And I don't think that's not what we see here. What we see here is someone who cares about good things. He wants to be at home. He wants to be, what does it say? He wants to have these these scenes of just, his heart is always at his hearth. His it doesn't say that here, but I've heard that before. Um he's not looking, he's not trying to be a part of this big epic thing and change the world. He's trying to have his own stuff in order and enjoy his own, life, work hard, whatever, right? He's being called to be active, as I believe all men are, and to be active and to be a positive influence, to be brave in his town, his little small town. If somebody comes in and tries to take over the town, he and the other men are like, nope, not that's not, wrong town, wrong place. That's not what we do here. And is confident and moving forward, is not resting and dying, but is constantly putting forth energy for the cause of good and whatever that is in your life. That is his goal. That is his desire, to be that man, to be the man, to, whether he wins or loses, whether he profits or not, whether everybody likes him or not, that he's the man who who desires heaven's applause. Now, if you desire heaven's applause, what are you going to do? You're going to look for the truth. You're going to embrace hard things that come from that, from embracing the truth. You're going to seek heaven's help in finding out how to be strong. You're going to pray for strength. You're going to pray for those small things like, God, help me to get up and work out. Help me to be better at this. Help me to grow in character. Help me to I've prayed before, God, I don't have the strength to do this small thing that everybody else seems to be able to do. Help me. And I want heaven's help. I want heaven's applause, and I want it more and more, because there's still parts of me that do want man's applause. There's still parts of me um that do want the wrong motives, that have the wrong motives. And so constantly praying and taking courage from this Wordsworth, who seems to understand this topic a little bit, wants bravery, seems to understand this. Let's take a cue from him and let's figure out what it means to be a happy warrior. think that's it.